warm-up drill for our Krav Maga program. Just as we had worked with Rudy at doing a punching warm-up. So this is a footwork warm-up. So typically what we work on with our students is developing their footwork. So as they're sparring or moving with their combinations on the pads, that they're moving correctly, whether with the pads or if you're working on the bag work. So we want to think about making sure we're reinforcing the proper footwork. So if I'm moving forward, the basic rule is my front foot steps, then my back foot will step up. So it's step and kind of a drag motion. If I'm going backwards, then my back foot leads. 1, 2, back foot, front foot. And again, the main reason would be I want to make sure that when I'm stepping forward, my motion here instead of this. We don't want our feet to come together, especially in a street confrontation, because you're probably already going to be in striking range. It's not like a sparring match in MMA or Taekwondo where you have distance and you're rotating around. That's a little bit different. But when you're in a street confrontation, the guy's probably already in your face, and so proper footwork is important. That you maintain that distance between your feet. The main reason is when I have a good, strong, stable stance, about shoulder wide, then I have some stability for striking. The closer the guy actually gets, the wider my stance need to get. So this would be more outside range. Then we get into elbow and knee strike range, and then we would get into grappling range. So my stance gets a little bit wider and a little bit deeper, depending on what level I'm at. But my footwork needs to be that if I step towards a guy, that my stance gets wider. If I move away from a guy, my stance gets wider. The saying is that the closer your feet are, the more mobility. The further your feet are apart is more stability. So again, the closer we get, we need more of that stabilizing motion so that we're able to withstand a guy that's going to be a lot bigger than us coming at us in a grappling kind of a motion. So again, the footwork drill would be moving forward is front foot, back foot, front foot, back foot. Evading would be back foot, front foot, back foot, front foot. If I move to my left, like I'm slipping a technique, I would step with my left. I move to my left, it's left, right. If I'm evading maybe a straight jab and I'm slipping to my right, then it's step to my right, which is right, left, right, left. So again, forward is forward, backwards, back foot, move to the left, left foot, move to the right, right foot. Southpaw doesn't change anything, it's just, you're just going different directions, but whichever direction you're going, that foot leads. Front foot leads going forward, back foot leads going backwards, left foot to the left, and then right foot to the right. So that's a basic motion, and so in class, we might have everybody just kind of do a little footwork and just practice a little step up, step back motion, evade 1, evade 2, up, back, left, right. And then we have them stop. Maybe it's 1, 2, stop, check their stance. 1, 2, check their stance, make sure they don't get too narrow. 1, 2, make sure they check their stance. This is one of the bigger mistakes, is they'll go 1, 2, and now they're kind of on that tightrope, especially with the left and right motion. Some of them you'll see kind of do the same thing, moving up, and then all of a sudden they go from this stance to 1, 2. So they take too big of a step on the second step. So I usually try to tell them, whichever is first foot, it's like big, small. Big, small. That usually keeps them pretty safe, and at the very least, it would keep them more stable with their stance instead of getting too narrow. Then we would add in that warm-up, once they've kind of done some footwork back and forth, then we're going to have them work on adding punches to that particular motion. Our drill is moving forward. I lead with the jab, so I would lean, jab, and then my feet move. So it's kind of like combat weapons. I would think about making my front hand go first. I reach with my technique, and then so I don't fall, then my foot would go forward. Now, when I go back, it's an evasion technique. It's like I'm slipping a motion, so I might move my back foot. So I move, and then I come back forward with a counter punch. So then it goes right foot, left foot, and I'm gonna punch on the second step. 1, 2, 1, 2, with the backward motion. Going forward, I lead with the punch, step, step, punch, step, step. Evading, it's step, step with the punch. Step, step with the punch. Step, step with the punch. So evade, counter. When I'm slipping to my left, I'm gonna punch on the second step again. I'm gonna slip, slip, punch, slip, punch, slip, punch. When I go to my right, I'm going to evade to the right, so I'm gonna slip to the right with a left hook. So it's step, punch again, step, punch, step, punch, step, punch. And on the second step, what we want the students to do is make sure they step and then get that pivot. The pivot will get their power and their punches so they're not going 1, 2 and doing a deltoid strike, and want to make sure you're using their core. So then once they start feeling more comfortable, we might have them go 1, 2, evade, evade, and do that back and forth. Then we have them go left and right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then we can have them working on the whole set. We just call this an X drill, going up, back, right, left. Up, back, right, left. And so that's a basic warm-up. Again, do a minute, 2 minutes of that. They can also do a quick turn and pivot motion, and then do the X again. So they're constantly working that front, back, left, right, and trying to get their footwork to where they're moving their head to kind of go along with their motion. Typically when we go forward, we're gonna work a little slip motion or evasion back. I slip to the right, I slip to the left. The more head movement we add in there, then obviously the harder it is for our opponent to land something square on us. And that is our footwork motion warm-up with some punches to go along with it. Good luck with your training, guys.